Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm MJ. I'm a non binary and autistic science fiction and fantasy author. This channel is all about the craft of writing with a neurodivergent and queer focus. Today, I want to talk about the new partnership between Draft Digital and Bookshop.org and what this means for authors. So let's dive in. So I want to review like what has come out with this partnership between bookshop.org and Draft to Digital. And just as an overview, Draft to Digital is a distribution platform for indie authors. So um, I know I have my books listed there, and then it then distributes to other platforms, such as it can deliver to Kobo, to Smashwords, Hoopla, uh, Libby, Barnes and Noble, Apple, a lot of different sites, and up to this point, when bookshop.org first launched their ebooks, they were only partnering with Ingram. And Ingram is specifically for ebooks, is primarily used by traditional publishers. There are some indie authors that use it, but the vast majority of indie authors do go through Draft to Digital for ebooks because it is more user friendly and it disperses to a wider group of spots, which I can go into the difference between Draft to Digital and Ingram Sparks for ebooks at a different time. If that would be something you're interested in, just let me know in the comments down below. But on February 4th, they announced that bookshop.org and Draft to Digital are going to partner. And so what this means is now that if you do publish through Draft to Digital, you can choose bookshop.org for for distribution. And this is really great because of it's one is another distribution site, but also bookshop.org is more focused on working with indie bookstores, which we will see in a moment. But um, as the founder of bookshop.org said, this is a watershed moment for independent bookstores. Our mission has always been to help local bookstores thrive in the digital age. Partnering with Draft to Digital means self-published authors, an essential and rapidly growing part of the publishing landscape, can now work with indie bookstores and they can support each other. So this article just kind of goes into a lot of like why this is happening, but the basic point is that it is happening. And that it is happening with Draft to Digital. And as it says, Draft to Digital's catalog has more than 1 million titles, including many of the most commercially successful ebooks across global platforms. Bestsellers including Jan Morin, Piper Lawson, Christy Ashley, Juliet and Banks, and many others. A large launch collection of ebooks from Draft to Digital is available for purchase through bookshop.org today and will expand significantly in the weeks and months ahead. Indie authors and publishers who wish to distribute their ebooks to bookshop.org must opt in through their publishing dashboard on Draft to Digital's. So this is just a really great partnership between the two companies that does allow indie authors to go into bookshop.org. So what does this mean for um, what does this mean for indie authors? And more specifically, why is it important for us to be able to get our books on to bookshop.org? Well, let's look at what bookshop.org actually is. So it is a way of like basically it is a platform that connects independent bookstores with readers while also allowing them to work in books through a digital platform. So they will ship out paper copies of books, and so the independent bookstores do not have to do that. And if you select an independent bookstore when you are purchasing, it will then, a portion of the sales will then go to that independent bookstore. So you are getting the convenience of ordering online, getting it shipped to your house, but also supporting independent bookstores. Now, up till this point, until very recently, it was only paper books, so ebooks were not included. And when they did announce the launch for ebooks, um, they were only working through Ingram, and I think they realized quickly that they were missing out on a large selection of, well, potential revenue, but also working with specifically indie authors, which as an indie books, like celebrating indie bookstores, you would hope that they would also want to partner with indie authors who are uh tend to be, more marginalized, because it's a way for us to get published. So now that they have this partnership, readers can go and choose this for purchasing ebooks as well. This is a way for bookstores to get ebook connections, so that they, like when readers do select an ebook, they will also um, get a percentage of the portion. And so, even though, as a lot of readers are reading ebooks, they'll still be able to support independent bookstores. And so, here is how that works basically. The reader will pick a store, then they will buy a book, and now that they can pick paper books or ebooks, and then they will get that sent to them either through the mail if it's paper book, or they will download it if it is ebook. And then this does benefit both bookstores, bookshop.org, obviously, but now indie authors, in addition to more traditionally published authors. So this is a really great step forward, and it's another huge platform for indie authors to be visible on. As they said, they've raised more than $40 million for independent bookstores. So that is pretty fantastic, and it is definitely a growing market as people are trying to move away from um, from working with the big platform. So what will this look like? Let me just show you what one of my books looks like. Um, and we will just kind of take a look. So here is my book, Inside a Dark Space. I have released it to bookshop.org, and I'll go in a minute about what I had to do to do that. I won't screen share for that. But right here, you can see that Inside a Dark Space, my ebook is available. Now, I do have mine selected for DRM free. This is a choice. Um, I think you can select not to have it as DRM free, but I can't exactly remember, because I personally choose to have the DRM off because has not been proven to stop piracy, and it does kind of limit the ecosystem that readers are in. Now, it may be, I have to look into it, but maybe bookshop.org, this is all DRM free because they do not have their own e-readers. Readers can download this book off of bookshop.org, and then they can upload it into any of their preferred reading devices. So they can still use their Kindle and get these books onto their Kindle without having to actually purchase on Amazon's ecosystem. They can put it on their Kobo without having to purchase in Kobo's ecosystem. They can put it on any sort of side reading platforms like a Remarkable, which is not necessarily a reading device, but you can upload EPUBs to it, or a books device. So it's a lot more user friendly to get the book into the hands of the readers and let them to read it on a platform that they prefer. So you just go in and you click buy the ebook. Now you will notice that there is no selection here. So I found that my paperback books and my ebooks are not connected. So if I actually just do a search for this book, you'll see that right here I have my paperback book and right here I have my ebook. So they are not linked together. And I haven't figured out a way to link them together, and it's very possible they will not link together because the paperback is being pulled in from Ingram Sparks, and my ebook is being pulled in from Draft to Digital. So they're not showing them in the same screen, but when users search them up, they can easily see which format they want, and that will be available for them. So, how do you get your books selected? First, you have to have a Draft to Digital account that you are publishing towards. If you already have your book published, then I'm going to assume that you already have your book on Draft to Digital. And if you do, just go into your book and look at your distribution methods, and then just click over on bookshop.org, turn it from probably red to green, and then hit publish, and it will put it out to bookshop.org. It's pretty easy, especially if you have already used Draft to Digital's platform. But the biggest thing is that this integration is finally here. Readers can now easily get books from this platform. And I really am hoping that this actually is a really good thing for in terms of piracy, because books will be so much easier for readers to get to, and it will be not be locked down in a specific ecosystem that readers will then choose to legally purchase books, support authors, and have the books on their device of choice. And obviously, some people are still going to choose to do this. Some don't understand the harm that it costs. But I have seen conversation among readers about how now that they can actually get the books to the device they want, um, that they are now choosing to do so, which is a whole other discussion that we could have another time if we want to get into it. But I am hopeful that this is actually going to be a really good thing for authors, and I'm really excited for how this will open up for independent authors and for readers as well. So, bookshop.org is a major retailer for indie bookstores, and it may be a way to divest away from Amazon while still giving readers the convenience of online shopping and um, an all in one shop so they can get their paper books and their ebooks at the same spot. And I'm really glad to see that they made this work for indie authors as well. And if you have any specific questions or want to share your experiences, let me know down in the comments. If you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more writer content every Tuesday. I also host live writing sprints on Fridays from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time, and so come write with me. And if you want to support the channel, you can buy me a copy. The link is below. Happy writing, and remember, you're learning, you're growing, and that is what matters. And as always, keep reading, keep writing, and keep dreaming.